Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Vox Markets for Tuesday, the 7th of December, starting off with Argo blockchain, where the bears keep trying to knock this stock and it keeps producing cryptos. So maybe those are balancing out at the moment. We've got that uptrend line there from January running around the £1 level. Above that, we still have the possibility of a move back towards £1.40. The negatives, I suppose, are that resistance line there from September, and also the way that both the 50 and 200-day moving averages are now both falling. So that is a warning sign, let's say, of a potential breakdown, but above £1, still in the half full rather than half empty brigade. On to a stock which I haven't looked at before, but so always welcome to have a new name, fresh face, I suppose. Here we've got stock which is new to the market, new as far as I can tell, Atlantic Lithium. And here you can see that the shares have been able to bounce off the support line there from back in December. Uptrend line there running around the 19 pence level. Above that, we're looking towards a breakout. We've got that resistance line there from back in January, which is just breaking around the 23.5 pence level. So end of day or a weekly close above that, and we're looking at a potential target as high as 35 or even 40 pence at that summer 2020 resistance line projection. So above 20 looking for, 19 looking for, up to 35 to 40 there on Atlantic Lithium. On to Ben's Creek, which has definitely been the star of the autumn to date. Seems to be relentless in terms of that rally within that rising trend channel, which has been in place since mid-October. We had that little peep below the floor of the channel, but we've resumed price action within it. And top of the channel, they're running up to 45 pence. So at the moment, above the 30 pence area, looking for 45 on Ben's Creek at the moment. Maybe you could hit that by the end of the month, the 45 pence zone. On to Charitable Gas, which normally I leave alone because it's a bit of a slow mover, but it looks as though it's looking to accelerate now. We've got that bounce off the floor of the rising May trend channel there at 7 pence, and above that, looking towards the top of the 2021 price channel as high as 11.5 pence, perhaps over the next 1 to 2 months. So maybe the end of January, something like that. Stop loss, I suppose 6 pence is the one at the moment. That would take us below the October support. So giving a bit of wiggle room there on the upside argument. Moving along to Dev Clever, where I think I tweeted out last week that there was a crucial line there at 28 pence. That's held so far, and we've got the good news today, which might mean that eventually we're going to break this July resistance line and the 200-day moving average at 33 pence. If we can do that over the next week or so, I think that would be a decent signal. And above 33 pence, then looking towards obviously the mid-40s to retest the best levels of the year to date. Fans of the shares will note that resistance line projection from back in March, heading towards 60 pence, but obviously a little bit early to get that excited at this stage. Bumper announcement yesterday from Eurasia. Obviously, probably most people like me thought it was going to be the big one, but not quite the big one, but a big announcement anyway. Here, the shares right on the floor of this rising trend channel from April. That's the equivalent of 28 pence for Dev Clever, so 22 pence or so the support line there. And at least above 20, we're looking forward to 30 initially to retest last month's resistance. Big picture target, maybe over the next 2 to 3 months or whenever that announcement arrives, up to 45 pence. So January, February time, something like that for Eurasia. Stock which has been relatively quiet but looks like it's coming back into form at the moment is i3 Energy. Here we've had this little dance here. Again, a critical support line there. That's the one from December, equivalent of 28 pence and 22 pence on Dev and Eurasia respectively. So here the level in question around 10 pence. Initial target here up to the 50-day moving average at 12.5. Obviously, if you break that, the situation is looking quite good in that we've got a broadening triangle which could head up to the mid-20s on a 2 to 3 month view. But early days at this point, we just need to break that to 12.5 pence initially to get the bullish show on the road, or the next leg up, let's say. On to Light Science, where we've got a nice picture developing here. Rising trend channel, it's a bit like Ben's Creek actually. Rising trend channel there from October. Support there, the 50-day moving average at 18.5 pence. And above that, looking towards the top of that channel from back in October as high as 35 pence, perhaps by the end of next month. End of day close above the initial December resistance, 23 pence, would be a decent momentum trigger. On to a stock which I tried to avoid in the recent past, Live Company, but looks as though things are getting a little bit better. Massive bullish divergence here in the recent past. So we had very oversold October, November price action. Then we made a lower low for the price down to sub 3 pence, but the RSI was actually going up. So that does suggest we've got bullish divergence in there. That could trigger a reasonable bounce for the stock above 3.25 pence, perhaps looking towards a target as high as 5.5 or maybe even 6 pence at the top of that triangle that I'm hastily trying to draw at the moment. So decent setup there for Live Company, especially if that bullish divergence peps up the turnaround in the shares. Minoan, another stock which I managed to avoid most of the time, but couldn't avoid it now. It's looking interesting. We've broken that July resistance line there at a penny and above a penny. Got the chance of an April 2020 resistance line projection as high as 2.4 pence, which seems rather ambitious, but I suppose after months and perhaps even years of consolidation, maybe it's time for Minoan to step up to the plate, at least in a bullish sense. Improvement ongoing at Occio. We had the news yesterday, and the shares edging up today, up another 6% after the 9% gain that we saw yesterday. So looking for 12 pence by the end of the month, especially while we're above the 6 pence area, which is basically where the 50-day moving average and the floor of the July rising trend channel is. So hopefully by the end of the month, we're up to 12 pence, which is the major resistance, 1 year resistance for the shares. A couple of shares to go now. First is Rambler, which is been a recovery situation since the finance came through, and here looking encouraging in the sense that the initial November resistance was at 31 pence, but that's become new support. So that we're looking for a retest of the 45 pence level, which was the best that we saw last month, above 30, looking for 45. If you're a fan of the shares and you want to dream of greater glories, we do have the potential of a broadening price channel, a rising trend channel target as high as 90 pence, but that's maybe 2-3 months or 3 to 6 months away at the current rate of progress. But obviously, with that new support at old resistance, this chart looking rather more healthy than many in the market at the moment. Speaking of healthy charts, we've got Xeros to finish off with. Here you can see that we've broken the recent resistance line there with a nice sort of saucer type move there, just that sort of turn from November to December, breaking the resistance line there from October at £1, already up to £1.20. End of day close for the shares above the 50-day moving average at 118 should be enough to get them up to the major resistance on the way down up to 140, which was the initial October peak. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.